Absolutely, and here's a cinematic, emotional, and viral-ready story script based on your title. Billionaire shoved his maid into a piranha-filled pool. Seconds later, he regretted everything. Perfect for a 5,000-word YouTube narration video, with strong pacing, emotion, and a moral message. Below is a condensed version structured for YouTube storytelling. Powerful intro, rich midsection, emotional climax, and an inspiring close, along with your call to action for be kind always. Story script intro hook 00045. They said money could buy everything: power, luxury, control. But on one stormy afternoon, a billionaire learned that kindness was the only thing truly priceless. He had everything: mansions, cars, servants, but within seconds a single cruel act would shatter the illusion of his perfect life forever. Because when he shoved his maid into that piranha-filled pool, he didn't just throw away a life. He threw away his own humanity, and what happened next would haunt him until his dying breath. Part 1. The Billionaire and His Empire, 045 to 3 dog. Edward Langston was the name on every financial headline. A self-made billionaire, ruthless in business, feared by everyone who worked for him. His glass mansion towered above the city, reflecting sunlight like a blade. He wasn't always this way. Once he was a poor mechanic's son who believed in hard work. But success twisted him. Power became his addiction. He demanded perfection from everyone, especially his staff. Among them was Maria, his quiet maid, gentle, humble, and kind. She'd been working for him for 2 years, always smiling despite the long hours. Maria sent most of her wages back home to care for her sick mother. But to Edward, she was invisible, just another piece of furniture in his grand house. Part 2. The Day Everything Changed, 396 hours. That morning, Edward was hosting foreign investors at his mansion. Everything had to be flawless, the wine, the music, even the scent in the air. Maria was tasked with decorating the poolside, where a rare exotic fish tank displayed one of Edward's strangest collections. A tank filled with piranhas. He called it the symbol of strength. Beautiful, deadly, untamed. As Maria placed a floral arrangement near the pool, her hand slipped and a crystal glass shattered onto the marble. The investors froze. The sound echoed like thunder. Edward's face turned red. "You clumsy fool," he shouted. "Do you have any idea what that cost?" "I'm sorry, sir, I'll clean it up," Maria whispered, trembling. But his anger wasn't about the glass. It was about control. And in that split second of fury, Edward grabbed her wrist and shoved her into the pool. Gasps erupted. The investors screamed. The water splashed violently as Maria fell in, surrounded by ripples and flashing silver fins. Part 3. Regret comes too late. 609 round. For a terrifying moment, Edward thought he'd just killed her. He watched in horror as Maria struggled in the water. But instead of thrashing in pain, she stayed calm, her eyes wide but steady. The piranhas didn't attack. They swam past her uninterested. Maria slowly climbed out, drenched and shaking, her palms bleeding from the fall. The investors were disgusted. One of them muttered, "This is not strength. This is madness." They left immediately, canceling the deal that was supposed to make Edward another 100 million. Edward froze as reality hit him. Not only had he humiliated himself, he'd exposed his own cruelty. Maria turned to him, her voice quiet but firm. "I may be poor, sir, but I have more humanity than you ever will." Then she walked away. Part 4. The Fall, 9/12. News spread like wildfire. A leaked video of the incident went viral. The investors' assistants had recorded it. Overnight, Edward's empire crumbled. Sponsors withdrew, clients left, and he became a symbol of arrogance and abuse. Reporters camped outside his gate. Former employees shared stories of his cruelty. Within weeks, his company stock crashed and his board voted him out. For the first time in his life, Edward Langston was alone. The mansion felt like a cage, and in the silence, regret began to speak. He replayed that moment over and over. Her terrified eyes, the look of betrayal, and the words she'd left behind. He tried to reach out to apologize, but Maria was gone. She'd returned to her village to care for her mother. Part 5, Redemption, 12-15 months later. A charity organization contacted Edward, ironically, one that Maria's small donation had helped build. They were raising funds for underprivileged families. Edward attended quietly, sitting in the back. When Maria stepped on stage to speak, he almost couldn't breathe. She looked healthier, confident, radiant with peace, something money had never given him. When she noticed him, she paused but didn't turn away. Instead, she smiled, not in forgiveness but in strength. After the event, he approached her, tears in his eyes. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said. "But I want to help. I want to change." Maria nodded softly. "Then start by being kind. Not when it's easy, but when it's hardest." And that day, Edward donated his last fortune to build hospitals, schools, and shelters. His name disappeared from headlines, but his impact quietly saved lives. Final message: 15 count 16 wide. Sometimes it takes losing everything to find what truly matters. Money can build walls, but kindness builds bridges. We never know how our smallest acts can change someone's life, or save our own. Edward Langston learned it the hard way, but his story reminds us all. True wealth is measured in compassion. Call to action: 16 we are in 1630. If this story moved you, take a moment to reflect. Would you forgive someone who hurt you or someone you once hurt? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else to change. And remember, on this channel, we believe in one simple message: be kind always. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story, because kindness deserves to go viral. Would you like me to expand this into a full 5,000-word video narration script with cinematic pacing, emotional dialogue, and timestamps for voiceover sections? That version would be ready for YouTube voice narration or AI storytelling upload with